It's the Playhouse Podcast with Kat and JJ.
Believe it. I missed everything.
Missed the show?
What am I going to do?
Check out the Daily Podcast.
You know, one of the cool things about raising children is getting them to like what you like, but imagine the astonishment in Kat's eyes when she took one of her favorite movies of her childhood and made her son watch it, and he gave it the 2 thumbs down. Do you remember any of those movies you loved as a kid, and now your kids are like, this is stupid? We spent a significant amount of time on that this morning, and if you missed it, you got to check it out in the podcast. Coming up.
Bingo! How fun!
Last week, someone lost an eye at bingo.
Bingo!
Bingo? What bingo?
Bingo! Bingo! All right, for anyone listening who /bingo this morning, Kat's on the hunt for somebody listening who...
I swiped on too many terrible parent videos, so now that's in my algorithm, and that's all I see. And it's the parents that leave their kids in the car in like sweltering heat so they can go have a cocktail, you know? And this mom, not only one mom, 2 moms, they left their 4 kids. Each of them had 2 kids in a car in Arizona for hours while they went in and had a cocktail.
We found her going up and down here. She took us to the car.
Yeah, one's sleeping on the right and the other one's...
Oh, there is 2 of them in there.
I went in and goes to the bathroom.
Really? Because we got a call about 45 minutes ago from people walking around saying they saw your daughter running around in the parking lot, no parents around.
So those kids have been in the car for how long with weed? They could have easily accessed that as well.
Jeez.
2 very, very tiny babies that were just screaming and crying.
I heard they found like a bag of weed in there, too.
That's what he just said in the glove compartment. They could have just been exploring
and if
the
they'd
car.
ate that for some reason, they could have died.
I know. It's just crazy. But you had a parent that just didn't set the best example.
Okay.
You know?
I'll be on the hunt for anyone listening who has escaped from something. I don't know why, but over the weekend, the last 4 or 5 days, there was like 7 sex offenders that escaped. There was
From where?
It was a facility around here somewhere. And then I saw, I think in Arizona, there was 2 inmates that escaped a maximum security prison. Like it was like escape from Alcatraz. I just still don't understand how you escape from prison.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it takes a lot of planning.
Crazy. I mean, it's a great heist. I love those movies when they escape, right? But
not
in real
only
life,
to escape, but then to stay on the lam. That's pretty impressive.
But you escaped from somewhere. Now, it could have been obviously a whole lot less than that. You escaped from the sheriff's handcuffs. But you escaped. You can tell us I escaped. Do you see Autumn's text about this?
Yeah, she said, when I was 8 years old, a family friend took me and my siblings and her 3 kids to the zoo. On the way home, we were stopping at her grandma's house. So she left me and my siblings in the car, took her kids inside the house, left the car running, all the while on the car radio, tornado warnings in our area going off. The sky was green. It was horrifying. That's nuts.
That's nightmare fuel.
It really is. And it just makes you wonder, about adults. But
You want to roll the dice today?
I don't, because I know who it is.
You like to take a chance every once in a while. You want to roll the dice?
You do. Go ahead.
Richard, good morning.
Yeah.
You're live.
Good morning, JJ.
How are you? Richard.
I'm just tired. I just woke up.
Okay, great. And what's the day look like for you today?
Richard.
Just hanging out, listening to you guys.
All right.
Hi.
And you just
What's
thought
up, Kat?
Hey.
Kat was talking about how sexy she thought you were on Twitter.
I never said that.
I am not sexy on Twitter.
You're just sexy on other platforms. Like, do you have Kat on Snapchat? Do you get to send her pictures?
No, I'm not sending her any nude photos.
Whoa. Nobody said nude. I just said pictures. I don't think anybody wants to see you nude, Richard.
Well, I'm hoping not.
Yeah.
I hope you have a really good day.
See ya.
Well, I'm planning on it.
Okay.
Peace.
Peace out.
It's been an enthralling day. Have a great day. See, how bad was that?
Can you help me? Can you help me? Can you help me? Everybody!
OPP, other people's problems. Every once in a while, something floats our way, and we really don't know what to do with it. So we want to get your thoughts on this. And hey, Cyrus, thanks for joining the show. We saw the text, and you just kind of want to start where you started with us and let everybody know what's going on here.
I really don't know what to do with this information. So I was at happy hour last Friday, and me and my friends kind of messed with this table full of teachers.
Oh.
And I got really close to like this one chick, and she got really drunk, and she started, I guess, confessing secrets about their school district.
Let's go.
Oh my God. Teachers drunk are very scary. I think any like superintendent or principal should be nervous.
Yeah, and like I don't have kids, but like I kind of feel responsible for this information because what she told me was apparently their principal is stealing money from the school.
Dang.
So you know how schools have like fundraisers? So I think they had like they do like the book drive.
Yeah.
Or something like that, she was saying. Apparently the principal was just taking money from the book drive money or scraping off the top of that.
Really?
And yeah.
Oh, I mean, that's probably just the tip of the iceberg. Like, that's something super small. I mean, what do they make? Like 8,000 at one. My mom puts those on, and they make them so you can take that money and put it into different groups.
There's got to be some accounting here. Like, how can you get away with something like that?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I mean, like I said, I haven't done a school money drive in a while, but I know I've raised like a decent amount. I'm just one kid. If you have, I don't know how big the school is. I'm assuming at least a few hundred. Each kid's probably at least bringing in, $100. That's a good chunk of change that they're just scraping off the top.
So your dilemma here is: do you blow the whistle on this, or do you just keep your mouth shut? Huh?
I mean, I don't know. I feel kind of responsible that, I mean, it's a fundraiser for the kids,
Yeah.
They're taking away from the children. That this could be something that, could help with the education. So I kind of want to, come forward with this information.
Yeah, I'm usually a watch your own bobber kind of guy, but when it comes to the kids, I think you got to say something.
Especially right now with so many funds being taken away from schools. Like, that's sad.
So here's my big dilemma is, what if you say something and this principal is really, or the superintendent, whoever it is really a good person, and they haven't done any of this. Now there's shade on their name. Like, how do you do this responsibly?
Yes.
I heard something. Like, you got really no proof, right?
Yeah, I mean, all I have is one drunk teacher who could have been telling me anything.
And she's going to end up getting in trouble then, right? Because you're going to have to trace it back to her.
Yep.
Ah,
you could
boy.
be affecting
or at least their whole
many
table.
lives.
I mean, there's no telling. But part of me feels like I should report it. But I don't think I'm the guy to do it. I don't have kids. I haven't been in school in 15 years. I just don't think, even if I came forward, they believe me.
Let's do this. Let's see what our listeners think on this, because there's a lot of variables that could go sideways on this that I'm not really sure that you want to blow the whistle on. But then again, if he is skimming off the top and our kids are getting less because of it, then somebody needs to know about it. So hang on a second, or else turn up your radio, and we'll see what everybody else thinks, okay?
Great. Thanks, guys.
Talked to a guy named Cyrus a couple of minutes ago with our OPP, and basically here's what's going on in his world.
Me and my friends kind of messed with this table full of teachers.
Oh.
And I got really close to this one chick, and she got really drunk, and she started, I guess, confessing secrets about their school district.
Namely, that they were skimming off the top. The principal was skimming off the top of a school book drive.
I would feel very helpless as somebody that is in the trenches, like teachers are. And then you see people that are up a couple of levels and not keeping you and your students in mind. I would drink and say something probably, I don't know. Would I go as far as to call the school anonymously and say, hey, you need to look into this person? I think they might have sticky fingers. Could be defamation of character.
It could be a career wrecker. Mm-hmm. But on the other hand, where there's smoke, there's usually fire.
Were there multiple teachers chiming in? That's what I would need to know. Because if it's just one and she's like, oh, you know what, I hate him, and this is why, then you might need to look into it a little bit.
That's the vibe I got, the second part of that. Amy, what would you do if this was you and you just you overhear this, or you start talking to somebody who works for the school district and they've got these kind of accusations? What would you do?
I would definitely call in, like Kat said, anonymously, and just to be sure. I wouldn't, say for sure, just calling in just to, put it out there. You don't want to get anybody in trouble just in case. Yeah. It was just one teacher that said something. Could be that she has beef with the principal. But I mean, if it is true, it's gonna, ruin so many different things for these kids. It's not fair to them.
There's no way that Silas is the only one in the world that knows about this. If she's just telling a total stranger, absolutely other people know about this, or at least have heard.
Exactly.
So you think the right move is an anonymous call?
Yes, I believe so. That's what I would do. I mean, somebody needs to know just to be out there just so that they can look into it. Because if it was one teacher, then it could be false. But if there's more than one teacher saying this, then more than likely it's probably true.
Yeah. But if the teacher is a bad egg, they could do some, investigating and find out that maybe she is an ulterior motive.
Shouldn't be out there boozing and talking crap, right?
Yeah. So,
Amy, last question here. If you were to think either Kat or myself, you had heard that somebody from the morning show was skimming off the top and taking money under the table, who would you think it was, Kat or myself? Kat, right?
Neither of you would ever do such a thing because you're both awesome. But if I would, no, I'm just kidding.
but
who would be the first person to skim?
You had a name.
Sorry, JJ.
Yeah, I mean it was a duh. I get it.
You broke up there. I think you were going under a bridge. I hope you have a great morning. Thanks, Amy. You're the best. Ask me about my shirt. Ask me while I'm wearing a pink Hello Kitty shirt
out
today.
Of all your clothes?
No.
Are they all dirty?
My birthday party, my friends Mark and Carla came by, and my friend Mark is big about getting me gifts that he thinks I'll never use or that were funny, right?
That's nice.
And so I think he... I don't know if he got this at Goodwill or the dollar store or wherever. It's clearly a lady's shirt because I had to stretch the neck out to get my head through it this morning. I've got...
Is it pink or white? What am I looking at?
It's pink.
Oh, okay.
And it's a pink Hello Kitty shirt. And he got it for me with the thought that I would never wear it. So when I woke up this morning, got a horrible night's sleep. I don't know why, but I slept like crap.
So did Derek.
Got up this morning, went out to our shed, jumped down the Peloton, had pretty much a half-assed workout. I just didn't give it my all. I was just like, God. And then later today, I got a 90-minute ride to get to a baseball game, then a 90-minute ride home. And I was like, man, it is the Mondayest of Mondays. And I look down I'm swiping through, and I go, Hello Kitty. I got to wear the Hello Kitty shirt today. It's going to get me over the hump.
Yeah.
So
cool.
Do you want to tell everybody the words you used to describe it earlier?
No.
I don't think you do.
I think I called you a loser.
Well, I just think that you're not very supportive. And thankfully, I have people like Mark supporting me in my life.
Mark
trying
wants
to help
make
me.
You look like a fool.
Nope. He gave me this so that I would feel better on a day like today. I would just save it for a day I wasn't having the greatest day. And then I would put this on and things will instantly elevate.
Let's do it.
I think you're a little jealous. What movie could your son possibly poo-poo on that you loved as a kid?
So I'm going to say it, and you're going to be like, yeah, of course he's going to hate it. But I was a huge Mary-Kate and Ashley fan.
Of course he's going to hate it.
But he didn't hate It Takes Two with the Goot and Kirstie Alley. He watched that, even though it was, like 4 years ago. But I pulled up New York Minute, and I was like, and I kept having to say throughout the movie, just wait, it gets better. Just wait, it gets better. But I feel like he has now leveled up with his taste in movies. He really loved All the Oceans. He loves any Bourne Identities.
Oh, yeah, those are fun.
He likes any action-packed movie. And here I am. And I kept saying, like, oh, action's coming up. They're going to get on the subway. Something crazy is going to happen. And I wasted, 120 minutes of his life. And I felt bad about that. But I felt bad that he didn't dig the movie that I loved back in the day. And
my boys were the same way with the Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
Well,
how old were they when you showed it to them?
9.
Oh.
Like it was, my dad let me watch the Blues Brothers when I was like 7, and I was like, yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
And I still will see part of it today, and I stop anything I'm doing to watch at least 20 minutes of the Blues Brothers. That one is one of the holy grails. But check this one out. Both my boys, my daughter loved this movie, but both my boys could not get into The Goonies.
Oh, Liam loves The Goonies.
Is there a better movie out there? I mean, you're chasing pirate gold. You got Sloth.
Yeah.
You got the old lady that's... You got that lady. I mean, it's got everything you want. I mean, they're going to get kicked out of their house. They got to find enough jewels. They find the pirate ship. You got the little Asian kid who just is inventing everything.
Data.
You got Chunk.
Yeah,
I mean, it has got everything. The Goonies is a classic, and neither of my boys like that movie. Even the water slide part, they're like, this is stupid.
I'll take the loss on It Takes Two. Not It Takes Two, New York Minute. I'll take the loss on that as long as, he keeps laughing at the Tommy Boys and the Billy Madisons.
Those are important for
Those
a boy.
were wins. Amy had texted Beetlejuice. Amy, we're in that same boat because the new one is out with all the new
Michael
characters,
Keaton
but then
and everything.
also the oldies come back.
So
but
I haven't
he
seen
won't
the new
watch it.
Beetlejuice. Is it good?
We haven't watched it.
Oh, you
because
haven't yet.
Derek wants to sit down and watch it as a family, and
I
Liam's
get
like, boring.
The old one is a little bit antiquated, but the new one, from everything I heard, is really, really good.
That's what I hear too. And sometimes you just got to make them sit down and then right then and there they realize.
So what was the movie you loved? It was on the Holy Grail. Like it's on the Mount Rushmore of movies for you, especially as you were a kid. And then you showed it to your kid and they were like, this is stupid.
I want to show him. Oh, how did I forget what it is? It's with Macaulay Culkin and he dies from the bees.
Oh,
My girl. I want to show him that. Derek thinks it's going to be too
I've got some
traumatizing.
great memes I could share on that one.
No.
But it broke my heart when I was watching the Blues Brothers with my oldest son, and he was like maybe 10 or 11, and he's like, they're driving through a mall. This is so stupid. But one of the subtle humor parts of the Blues Brothers is like they get blown up like 15 times in that movie, and then every time something bad happens to them, all they do is get up and brush themselves off.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you are walking into a building and somebody hit it with a rocket launcher, you'd be like, what the hell just happened, right? These guys don't say a word. They just brush themselves off and keep on going.
You have to go to Universal because while you're walking through Universal, all of a sudden their car will come out of nowhere and they put on a whole scene and it's so cool.
My dad was one of the engineers that built that car.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. A lot of that stuff at Universal, he's got his handprints on. But what was the movie that you really, really thought your kids were going to get into? And then they were like, this is stupid. Call it. Another big morning of winning Tuesday in the Playhouse. Right out the gates, we're going to try and get you $50,000 at 6:05. At 7:05, you figure out our secret sound, you get $1,000. And if you haven't heard, KC and the Sunshine Band, along with the Village People, are going to be at the Ledge in Wight Park on August 7th. We've got those tickets for you just as you're getting into work at 8:05 tomorrow. So hit us up, win a bunch Tuesday during our live show. Right now, let's wrap up our podcast. We learned that over the weekend, Kat showed her 13-year-old son, Liam, what movie, and he didn't like it.
New York Minute with Mary-Kate and Ashley.
I get it. It's a dumb movie.
Listen, I remember loving it. I watched all those movies
It's a
with
girl
my sister. But watching It Takes Two, he loved it. He thought it was cool, but then I realized he was like 9 or 8 when we watched that. Now he has maybe come into his own with the action movies. As of the last year and a half, it's all the CIA or like Saving the White House or SWAT team movies that he loves. So
when I was like 7 or 8, I remember I thought it was so awesome that my dad let me watch Blazing Saddles, which you shouldn't let your 7-year-old or your 8-year-old watch. The Blues Brothers, which I still love to this day, and Animal House. My dad was a big John Belushi fan.
Yeah.
And watching Animal House when you're 8 will disrupt your growth into manhood. Okay. Like it's
good to know.
Jarring at 8 years old. And I remember like letting my kids watch this when they were like 14 or 13, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my oldest son thought Animal House was so dumb until he got into college and was living that life. And then he'd start quoting Animal House. And I'm like, you're watching that movie. You're falling into the trap. Good for you.
I think most of the time I know like the next good parenting move, but I'd love for him to watch like Silence of the Lambs because not as action packed, but he loves to solve a case.
I know.
You don't actually see him eat skin or anything.
Hey, Kaya, how old was your daughter when you showed her this movie?
3.
She was 3 and she hated what?
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Well, of course she did. She was 3 years old.
I don't know. I don't
Scared the
dig
hell
it
out of
either.
her.
My sister loved that movie, and I just never. I don't know. The animation never hit me.
How old is she now?
3.
Oh, she's 3. So this just happened. Okay, so you tried to show her Nightmare Before Christmas. She's like, I'm not having it. Yeah.
What did you think she was going to love? Like the music? Because that's kind of what draws people.
Is that a Tim Robbins thing?
Tim Robbins? Tim Burton.
Tim Burton.
Yeah.
Anyways, go ahead.
Tim Burton.
Yeah, my bad. Come on, catch up.
The reason why you didn't like the animation, Cat, is because it was stop motion film.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking.
3-year-olds are used to great animation they see on Nickelodeon every day, right? Like with Bluey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. So you gotta revisit this in about 7 or 8 years, and I bet she digs it. If you knew somebody was gonna tell you
you're fired.
What would you do with that information? I've been in this spot twice.
Immediately you hop on LinkedIn, right? Or you
Wasn't
start putting
LinkedIn
your
when I was
feelers out.
when I was at this point. There was no LinkedIn.
All right. So what happened with you?
So 2 different radio jobs. One of them, we had gotten this new boss, and he and I obviously didn't see eye to eye, but he was kind of one of these guys that is like, I've been in this market and this market. I worked in Los Angeles and Dallas and Chicago. And I'm like, why are you working in Fairmont, Minnesota then, right? And and he was just a jackass. And so we didn't see eye to eye very well. I mean, I still did my work, but I didn't do the things.
Our boss is right outside the door.
Oh, okay, whatever.
He's listening.
I didn't do the things that he wanted me to do that clearly weren't my job. Like, hey, can you run to the grocery store for me? Or, hey, my front tire needs more air. Can you do that once you get off the air? I was like, no, I'm not doing that for you. Like, I'm not your slave.
Yeah.
Like, this is my job. And so I knew it was going to happen. And here was the worst. Is I avoided this guy. I was getting married. This is right before I got married. I was getting married May 15th. And the week before that, I avoided him like the plague because I knew I was going to get canned.
Yeah.
When I got married, went on my honeymoon, and the day I came back, he fired me. And here was the silver bullet I had at the time is I'd already been kind of being courted by another radio station and had been in discussion, and we kind of put it on hold because the guy that was eventually did hire me was like, get married, enjoy, we'll talk when you get back.
Yeah.
So I go into work for a meeting early that day. I was doing nights at this radio station, and he goes, yeah, we're going to let you go. And I go, give me one reason.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, well, it's a free to work state. We're just going to let you go and move on to somebody else. And I was like, all right, well, you guys owe me $1,000. And he's like, excuse me? I said, well, I have all these talent fees from all these live broadcasts that I've done that I haven't been paid out yet. So I expect my paycheck in $1,000. And the owner of the company at the time had to go into his desk drawer and count out $10, $100 bills so I would leave. Otherwise, I'm not leaving.
Yeah.
I leave. I go back to my place. I call the guy that had been talking to me, and he goes, come on up here. Let's talk about your job. I got a job later that day.
Nice.
And so that one really, really worked out fine. And then the other one, I knew I was getting fired from a fast food place, and so I just quit showing up.
Oh, okay.
And eventually, like, I had a buddy that worked there, and he's like, they quit putting you on the schedule. I'm like, I haven't even been fired yet.
Yeah.
Like, I just quit going to work. It was just like Office Space, where I'm like, I don't like working here anymore. I'm just not going to go.
Kelsey texted, I knew I was getting fired. My best friend overheard. I let them fire me and get unemployment, and I enjoyed the rest of my summer.
That's the way to go, man.
So,
don't quit. Get canned.
because then they got to shell it out.
Yeah.
I've never been fired in my life.
Ever from anything?
No. And people in radio are always like, you've never been in radio if you've never been fired. And it's like, well, maybe you're just not very good. A TikTok video went viral of a young woman. She was standing at this boba shop, and she has what is the exact same size as a phone, but it's clear. And people are like, does she have like the latest and greatest in cell phones? And she was looking at it and she was swiping, and there's a reason why she had that. Her friend had invented this.
This is a clear piece of acrylic shaped like an iPhone, but why does it exist? If we're all so addicted to our phones, then could you potentially curb somebody's addiction by replacing the feeling of having a phone in your pocket with something that feels exactly the same?
This is the same theory of when somebody tries to get off cigarettes and they're constantly eating carrots or lollipops. Yeah. It's like so I get it. It probably makes sense.
That would be kind of trippy, though, to see people sitting in line at Target waiting to check out and they're just swiping on fake glass, you know, but who knows? Some people might need it.
The problem is it's probably going to be about a year before we have transparent phones.
Mm-hmm. So your sister, she loved glow bugs, right? What other
glowworm? Yeah,
glowworms.
She
yeah,
love that stuff.
So Tamagotchis were my sister's jam. She loved those. You got to keep them alive, and now they're back. This time though with Peanuts characters, and I guess people are stressing because they have to keep Snoopy alive. No one wants Snoopy to die. So that's their biggest stressor today. I need to live their life just to have these Tamagotchis. If I see a grown-up next to me stressing about feeding their Tamagotchi Snoopy, I will.
How about feed your own kid?
Be the end of me, I promise you. And that is the four before you hit the door.
I always did love Snoopy, though. And I had this is crazy, but I had an infatuation with Snoopy because my mom and dad had those big coffin-like stereos?
Yeah.
And my mom and dad had one that had the record player in it, right? But my mom and dad were both they were kind of cerebral nerds for a little while. Like one of the records they had was JFK's speech when he took the White House.
Wow, that's a big deal.
Right. And then they had the I Had a Dream speech from Martin Luther King on record. But the other record, the only one that they had that had music was Snoopy's Christmas album.
Oh, okay.
And it had Snoopy versus the Red Baron. And I was like, I love that they became friends at the end and the Red Baron didn't shoot him down. And they were like, you know what I mean? And so like everything my childhood had little Snoopies in it somewhere along the way. You got to keep him alive.
Yeah, very cute.
Got this email from Jenny and she says, hey, we have a 17-year-old son. He's going to graduate. No desire to get his license. We plan to surprise him with an older backup car as a graduation gift. My husband still thinks we should, hoping it'll motivate him. I'm afraid we're pushing him into something he's not ready for. Looking for any input you guys have. Thanks, Jenny.
I think at that age, you don't know what you're ready for. You don't know because you need encouragement. As a parent, my job is to, and yes, thanks, Dr. Phil, to set my setup for the next stage of his life. The next year of his life is what you're always looking at while enjoying the present.
Katie says, right or wrong, or otherwise, my daughter didn't have a choice. I signed her up for driver's ed. She wasn't thrilled at first, but now she enjoys driving. Where we live, a license is virtually essential as an adult. That was my reasoning behind it.
Yeah. So I would say get it. And then if you don't want to, at least you'll have it. You know, you'll know the ins and outs of the driving world. You'll at least have a hard copy of a driver's license, which you need. Lisa had texted, my sons are 21 and 23 and don't have their license.
Bless you.
Oh, my God.
What do you have to be allergic to something?
I know. You keep saying that. Find it.
Every day. It's like 40 sneezes.
I apologize.
You're so weird.
You act like it's on purpose.
I think it's a choice. I think you're trying it. Emily had said, I think that gift would be fabulous. It's a little push in the right direction. Since he's about to be an adult, it'll be up to him whether he decides to go driving or not. But yeah, like I said, it gets to a point, especially if you've got a bunch of kids, that your time as parents it's just split up. And there's a certain independence when your kid starts driving that you're like, oh my God, you can take yourself to late night hockey practices. You can drive yourself to your friend's house
and
35 minutes away.
More leverage. If they do something that you don't want them to do, you take away their car. Take away their phone. You know, it's like one extra thing.
The amount of times that we've had our kids go to the grocery store real quick.
Yeah.
Hey, you're on your way home for practice? Will you stop at the grocery store? Hey, you're on your way home for practice? Will you stop and get this? Or will you do this? Or hey, will you go put gas in my car?
I just think not encouraging them to take the next step in life is going to just kind of stunt their growth, not only, you know, mentally, but socially as well. Like they need to know how to do this stuff unless they live in New York. Or even Chicago.
Right. If you're living in Boston, Dallas, and you can figure yourself. I worked with a guy once when I was a senior in college who he was 24 or 25, didn't have a driver's license. Blew my mind.
Yeah.
But he had always lived on a bus line. And he was very, very good about just getting on the bus. He had his card and getting where he needed to go.
But why wouldn't you want a driver's license in case you go somewhere and you have to rent a car? You know, you always need to have a license.
So he leaned on his friends all the time for this. Like if it was going to be, we're going to a party, a friend would pick him up.
Annoying.
And he would give him gas money and stuff like that. But he was just not into, he didn't want a car. He didn't want the insurance. He didn't want the payment. He didn't have a place to park it, like, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I get it. If you got thoughts on this, definitely hit us up. I'd love to hear what you think about it.
Can I do an input thing about the driving?
Oh, yeah, please. The kid that didn't want to get his license.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I got mine at 16. Okay. And now I'm a school bus driver. I love driving that much.
There you go.
So everyone that gets their license at 16 will end up driving a school bus.
They like it enough.
Fair enough. Kai,
Thanks for weighing in.
You're the best. I hope you have a great morning. Can you
Tell me something good.
We had a great time watching Liam play basketball this weekend. The AAU team that he's on, they just kind of meld. You know, it's like when they find a team that everyone just kind of works.
Fun to see it come together.
Yeah, it is. And they played some great basketball. So that was a fun way to end the weekend. And just to see your kid thrive, it's always fun. And
But imagine
what's good for me.
being part of this amazing, amazing pseudo family.
I just was like, this literally makes so much sense. So Dairy Queen, help girl out.
We immediately looked at it and thought, we got to do something. I've heard it for 30 years now that I should somehow get involved with Dairy Queen. My future in-laws came into town last night and they were like, hey, let's go to Brahms. And I said, no. You don't understand. We're Dairy Queen spokespeople now.
Why are they Dairy Queen people? Their last name
is Blizzard.
So they had their wedding and paid for by the fine folks at Dairy Queen.
That was Brad and Blizzard.
I want to know what's good in your life, all right? 320-251-1047. You can call or text. I want to say good morning to Adam, who sent in a couple of pictures. First place at a bodybuilding show on Saturday. Adam's jacked.
Nothing wrong with that.
Look at that dude.
Let me look at this one.
Super tan.
Let me look at this one again.
Relax. What's good in your life? Can you tell us what's good, please?
Tell me something good.
Oh, look at that. It's New York, everybody. What's good, brother?
I got some good news to share with you guys.
Let's go. What do you got?
I had a biopsy done, and it was on my face, actually, and it was cancer like 20 years ago.
Okay.
And I was supposed to have part of my face removed, but I was like, you got to be kidding me. So it came back aggressively. So I had the biopsy done, and the results came back, but I missed them, and they didn't leave it on the voicemail, and they were closed on Friday, so I had to wait the whole weekend.
That's the worst.
And it came back negative to cancer.
Yeah, good for you. We like your face. Good job.
What a scare, too. And, you know, I'm a recently grandfather, too, so, you know, I don't want to scare the kid away, you know. And being sobriety is another, I just made 10 years clean, so what a better time to be, you know, experiencing grandfatherhood and reconnected with my son. So
right on.
Life is good.
Yeah,
That's
man.
amazing.
You got to stay blessed, son. Well done.
Yeah, and I got to share with my family. You guys are my extended family.
Well, your extended family's kind of hungry, you know.
The cannolis will keep rolling in.
You're the best. I hope you have a great day. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Trey had to chime in last minute here because what's good in your life?
The video game.
Video games.
I love this guy. What's great in your life right now? Oh, video games, and I got time to play them.
Which game are you on right now?
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty.
Man, listen, I have so many friends that are in so deep. I'm very, very cautious of this because I mean, how many minutes a day? Just ballpark it. Are you on Call of Duty?
At least 5.
You're spending 5 hours a day on Call of Duty.
That's almost a shift.
Man.
And you're not planning on going into the military?
I'm hoping they see my stats and eventually, like, recruit me.